All praise to the Most High, Ahaya, and to his son, YASHA, the Messiah. Hallelujah. This is Brother Holly here on the AHAYAH'S channel with the Spirit of Truth broadcast for this set-apart Sabbath day. This is the second teaching for this Sabbath day, and it's a continuation of the series, The Hidden Hebrews of the New Testament. Now, we're going to be looking at the people who are referred to as the Afar in the book of Acts, in the book of Ephesians, and other places throughout the scriptures, including the original or Old Covenant. And there is where we will begin our review and discussion on the identity of the people who were referred to as the Afar in comparison to those who are considered the near in the New Testament. Let's go. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 30, start reading at verse 10. And you, do not fear, O Jacob, my servant, declares Ahayah, nor be discouraged, O Yasharel. For look, I am saving you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and have rest, and be at peace, and none shall make him afraid or trouble him. I can stop right there for a moment. To the Jewish state people who are squatting in the land of Canaan right now, you can't be the real children of Jacob. You can't be the chosen. Because it says right here that when Jacob returns to the land, he'll be at peace and none will make him afraid. Y'all have been fighting with just about everybody since 1948. And all those kooky Constantine Christians out there who have their apocalyptic timepiece set to 1948 and the fulfillment of prophecy. I'm sorry. Ain't no prophecy's been fulfilled by them people because they're not the one. When Jacob returns, according to the scriptures, there'll be a time of peace and none will make us afraid. So I say to those squatters in the land of Canaan right now, go home. And I say to the children of Jacob who are scattered in the nations right now, come home. All praise to the Most High. Let's go on. Verse 11, for I am with you, says Ahayah, to save you. Though I make a complete end of all Gentiles, where I have scattered you, yet I do not make a complete end of you. Now, for all those kooky Constantine Christians out there who believe and teach that the Gentiles of the New Testament are in fact the people of other nations, it says right here by the set-apart Spirit speaking through Jeremiah the prophet that the Most High is going to make a complete end of all Gentiles. But he will not make a complete end of his people, the children of Jacob. So those Gentiles in the New Testament, they're the children of Jacob. They have to be. Why? Because they're receiving something that only the children of Jacob were promised. That's salvation. Let's read verse 11 again. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 11. This is for you kooky. We address the squatters in verse 10, Jewish state. Now we're going to talk about them Constantine Christians and their false doctrine. Verse 11. For I am with you, declares Ahayah, to save you. He didn't say he's going to save everybody. Let's read. Though I make a complete end of all Gentiles, where I have scattered you, yet I will not make a complete end of you. He's not going to make a complete end of us. He's going to make a complete end of everybody else. All praise to the Most High. Now let's go over to Jeremiah chapter 31, short flip, and let's start reading there, verse 10. Hear the word of Ahayah, O Gentiles, and declare it in the isles afar off. And say, he who scattered Jacob gathers him, and shall guard him as a shepherd his flock. Now, did not YASHA the Messiah say, when he was on the earth, to the house of Judah in John 10, I have sheep not of this fold, them must I also bring, that there be one fold and one shepherd. That was a direct quote from Ezekiel chapter 37. Now, he was speaking to the house of Judah. The other sheep were the house of Joseph. Those sheep he got to go get as well. And those sheep were scattered. And they're still scattered to this day. And so are the sheep of the house of Judah. There's going to be an ingathering, children. And it's coming. To the near, those who have been near to the Most High, and through his son YASHA, and to the afar off, those who have been apart from him. To all those locked away in Islam, all those locked away in Constantine Christianity, all those locked away in heathenism, all those lost ones. He's going to awaken them as he's awakened us. It says in the book of Zechariah, I believe it is, that he will save the tents of Judah first. He's going to open our eyes first, Judah. And we're going to start proclaiming his word to our brothers and sisters of the household of Joseph, wherever they may be scattered in the world. These broadcasts on this channel are dedicated and directed to the 12 tribes scattered amongst the nations. I am here for you, children of Jacob. Wake up to our heritage. Wake up to the truth. Wake up to the scriptures. Follow after the great I am. Receive within yourself a love of the truth that you might be saved. YASHA came to bring you life and to give you life more abundantly. All praise to the Most High and to his son YASHA. Hallelujah. Let's continue. For AHAYAH shall ransom Jacob and redeem him from the hand of one stronger than he. And they shall come in and shall sing on the heights of Zion and stream to the goodness of AHAYAH for grain and for new wine, for oil, and for the young of the flock and of the herd, and their being shall be like a well-watered garden that never languishes again. The Most High is going to provide for us completely, totally, and utterly. He's going to provide for us. All praise to the Most High. Now, the far off and the near have peace promised to them. Let's flip over to the book of Isaiah. Hallelujah. So we're laying the groundwork that these are far off ones and these ones that are near the same people. Well, I should say of the same tribes. Isaiah 57, let's start reading at verse 19. It says, creating the fruit of the lips, peace, peace to him who is afar off, and to him who is near, says AHAYAH, and I shall heal him. But the wrong are like the troubled sea, who are unable to rest, and its mayhem cast up mud and dirt. There is no peace, says Allah, for the wicked. Now, he says, peace, peace to them that are far off and those that are near. That's a direct quote in the book of Ephesians, which the Apostle Paul spoke under the set-apart spirit in Ephesians chapter 2. Let's read it. I'm going back to the, messing up. The Aramaic Peshitta, New Testament translation, Messianic version. Ephesians chapter 2. All praise to the Most High. Forgive that little faux-pas. I like the way it says it here in the Aramaic translation. Ephesians 2 verse 12. And at that time you were without Messiah, and you were aliens from the customs of Yasharel, and you were strangers to the covenant of promise, and were without hope and without Aliyah in the world. I like it says you were strangers to the customs. You had been separated from your heritage. You were acting like the nations. You had no idea who you were. But now you've been brought back. Oh, praise the Most High. But now in YASHA Messiah, you who were previously far off have become near by the blood of the Messiah. For he is our peace treaty, it says, who made two of them one, and has broken down the wall that stood in the middle of them, and the conflict by his flesh, and he brought to an end the law of commandments with the commandments, so that from the two of them he would create in himself one new man, and he made a peace treaty. Now I said it stopped the law of commandments. Now it's not talking about the commandments of the Most High, not at all. There was a command given in the book of Hosea for the house of Judah to have nothing to do with the house of Joseph, because the house of Joseph had gone off into idolatry. And the Most High said, I've divorced them. He said to the house of Judah, leave them alone. Don't deal with them. This very point was brought out in the first teaching today by the Samaritan woman who was of the house of Joseph when she was talking to YASHA. She said it clearly that the Judeans have nothing to do with the Samaritans, or the house of Judah has nothing to do with the house of Joseph. That was by a commandment given by through Hosea by the set apart spirit from Ohio to the children of Judah. Have no dealings with them. But that ended when the Messiah shed his blood. He broke the wall that was between them. He broke it down, and he allowed now the two to be made one again. One new man making peace. There's peace between the both houses. Peace, says Ahaya, to both houses. All his children back together. Hallelujah. The afar off and the near will be judged. That's Ezekiel chapter 6. Let's see it. The afar off and the near are the same people. Well, should I say, and I say it again, of the same people. Hallelujah. Ezekiel chapter 6, let's start reading at verse 8. Oh, praises. But I shall leave a remnant, in that some of you shall escape the sword among the Gentiles when you are scattered through the lands. And those of you who escape shall remember me among the Gentiles where you have been taken captive, because I have been broken by their adulterous heart, which has turned away from me, and by their eyes which whored after their idols. And they shall loathe themselves for the evil which they have done and all their abominations. And they shall know that I am Ahaya, and not for naught have I spoken to you this evil of them. Thus saith Master Ahaya, strike with the hand and stamp with your feet, and say, alas, because of all the evil abominations of the house of Joseph, who shall fall by the sword, by scarcity of food, by the pestilence. He who is afar shall die by pestilence, and he who is near fall by the sword, and he who is left over and is besieged die by scarcity of food. And I shall complete my wrath upon them, and you shall know that I am Ahaya, when their slain are among their idols, all about their altars, on every high hill and on the mountaintops, under every green tree, under every thick oak, wherever they have offered sweet incense to all their idols. Now, that was a long read. The Most High is going to punish the idolaters of both houses, the near and the afar off. Even if you're in captivity, if you're practicing idolatry, you're going to suffer pestilence, you're going to suffer scarcity of food, you're going to suffer war and violence. Those are judgments. Those are rebukes for your idolatry. So all you Constantine Christian Christmas tree people putting up trees, that's idolatry. You're going to be judged for that idolatry. Don't think that the virus is not a judgment from the Most High. It is. That's pestilence. Don't think that your young men and your young women being shot down in the street is not judgment. It is. That's being killed by the sword. Don't think your lack of employment and lack of supply is not judgment. It is. That's the scarcity of food. All these things come from your idolatry. I say to the children of Jacob, to the ones who are near And to the ones that are afar off, to as many as Ahayah will call, come back to Ahayah. Return to the Most High of your salvation. Be immersed in the name of his holy Son, YASHA. Receive forgiveness of sins and an inheritance among those who are set apart through faith or trust in him. That's the gospel. It is for you, child of Jacob, those who are near and those who are far off. It always has been for you. You men and women of Jacob, hear these words. All praise to the Most High, Ahayah, and his son, YASHA. Hallelujah.